Hey yo guys, it's Stinky. Is that like the first time I introduced myself? I'm not really sure. Well anyways, it's your boy here. I want to talk about the Switch again and how it looks like that the Switch might be here for at least 3 more years it feels like. And that the Switch, instead of being a AAA third-party haven that it has been, will go back to primarily being a Nintendo first-party machine. I've talked a lot about the Nintendo Switch and how I speculate that the Nintendo Switch is at the end of its life cycle, even though Nintendo likes to say that it's in the middle of its life cycle. But I was thinking that maybe we would get a new successor as soon as next year. And why? Because we need more power for third parties. It's one of the many reasons why the Nintendo Switch has been as successful as it is. Yes, the Switch has had amazing first-party games, but we have had AAA third-party games finally hit a Nintendo console, and the Switch has become a real option for so many gamers out there. And as we saw in the new Direct, we got a lot of third parties in on the action, but all ports of older games. But that's not what led me to the conclusion that the Switch is here to stay for longer. The amount of games that Nintendo is going to bring out with plans for future updates and possibly more DLC leads me to think that the Nintendo Switch is here for at least 3+ years, which is insane. I mean, yes, it should be fine if we keep getting games and high quality ones at that, and I hate to be that guy that wants prettier graphics and performance, but I love the new Pokemon game, Legends Arceus, and I want them to work on the sequel, if there is one, but for the next console. And not to mention, I love having my Dooms on the go and having the options to have third-party games coming to the Switch. Dragon Quest XI on the Switch isn't the prettiest version since there's a PS4 and Xbox One version that look a lot better, but it is my preference since it's such a damn long game, and it makes it easier to beat the game and complete it if I have the option to take it on the go and not just have it stuck at home. But we'll see if somehow third parties find a way of bringing over new games. Ports of older games is fine for those that have been solely gaming on Nintendo platforms, but what are we going to be playing catch up on new games for the next generation console for Nintendo also? Like, come on, we can't always be playing catch up here. Maybe it's not the best example. We can see that Cyberpunk 2077 had a hard time running on PS4 and Xbox One and maybe should have just been delayed, possibly to the PS5 and Xbox Series X to see if it performed a lot better because it just couldn't be handled on older generation consoles. And imagine a game like that at the tail end of the PS4's life cycle and it still couldn't run it. Imagine newer games for the PS5 and Xbox Series X. It's gonna be basically impossible to get them running on the Switch. But enough about me complaining about the performance for the Switch, let's move it on. With the announcement of a new Mario Strikers, Splatoon 3, and even more courses being added to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it tells me that Nintendo is making games with online multiplayer with the intentions that the Switch successor is not coming out anytime soon. Because why would they make games that are very dependent on its user install base to thrive? It wouldn't be the best idea to come out with a new console when players might be too invested in their current lineup on their older console. This would have never happened, but imagine if Halo Infinite came out only on the Xbox One with the new console coming out soon after, but it didn't come out on the Series X. That launch would be a disaster with people on the fence about it. But Xbox would never do that, but maybe Nintendo would. As I said in my Mario Kart 8 Deluxe video, Nintendo was smart to bring out DLC for the game because so many people were so sure that a new game was going to come out. It's been 8 years, so Nintendo must be making a new Mario Kart, right? No. Why would they make a new Mario Kart game for the Switch when it's so late into its lifespan and Mario Kart is still selling like hotcakes? But wait, isn't the Switch here to stay for a lot longer? You can convince more buyers by showing off that they are still supporting Mario Kart 8 Deluxe by elongating its lifespan by over a year thanks to the DLC coming out in batches. 48 courses is practically another game that can hold you over until the next Nintendo console, and then finally we can get a new Mario Kart. That's the way I'm looking at it anyways. Splatoon 3 is another game that will get support after its release thanks to Splatfest and events. And with the teaser of bigger things coming to Salmon Run, it's looking to improve upon its shortcomings from the previous title. I love Salmon Run, but I won't lie and say that its restrictions get in the way a lot of the times. So I'm looking really forward to what they add to Salmon Run. And while it's been a while since we had a Mario Strikers game, Charged on the Wii was actually a really popular online game. And if they can handle the online multiplayer game for this, I imagine it's gonna have another strong online following. Soccer is the most popular sport in the world, so let's see if it agrees with Mario Strikers. I see all these moves making for the long play. Nintendo sees no need to bring out a successor anytime soon. The Switch is still selling hot even with the next gen consoles out, and users are still invested since a lot of games are still selling big. Maybe I'm speculating too deep into the idea that these games mean that Nintendo is still too invested with the Switch. But Nintendo did say we are midway into the lifespan of the Switch, and I thought that that was just business jargon for the investors, but it's not looking like that anymore. I actually believe it now. We probably are midway. I can only imagine the high profit margin for the Switch at this point in its life cycle, and the thought that it's gonna outsell the PS4 is insane. But the longer that the Switch goes into this next generation, the weaker and more it will fall behind. Third parties might want to support the Switch since games sell so well on it, but that's if they manage to even get the games to run on them. They could lose some users on the Switch once games look more dated and don't perform on the level of the PS5 and Xbox Series X. And if there's no support from third parties, the Switch will become just a Nintendo first party machine. Not that that's a bad thing, Nintendo puts out quality, but I know gamers want variety and games to catch up with the new generation. I mean, Pokemon Legends Arceus is fucking fun, but don't put it up next to Horizon Dawn. Just visually, of course. But let's see if my hunch is right or wrong. Let's see how the Nintendo Switch does these next couple of years, and hopefully it doesn't backfire on Nintendo. Hopefully it doesn't, so Nintendo doesn't fumble the next generation with another gimmicky console. They have a winning formula here, so just go with it, Nintendo. Don't mess it up. Idle and dollar signs got Nintendo's eyes green, so they're gonna stick with the Nintendo Switch and milk it as far as it can go. But what do you guys think? Do you think that a new console is coming out sooner rather than later? Or do you think Nintendo's making a mistake by sticking with the Switch, or just keep the momentum going with the Switch? Let me know. And if you made it this far into the video, don't forget to like it. It would help me out a lot. And if you like my content, why not subscribe? I got more videos coming out soon. And I hope to catch you guys on the next one.
Thanks for watching, I appreciate you.